Okay, hi guys. So today I'm gonna go through how I create some of my patterns. So this is gonna be like a 3-4 part thing on how I make my own clothes patterns. So part one is how I clone my clothes. So the first thing that you need to do is raid your wardrobe for clothes that you absolutely love that you want to copy. So I have copied quite a lot of mine already. So today I am going to be copying a pair of fitted shorts that I absolutely love. So let's get started. And don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. Okay, so this is what you're going to require. Obviously the shorts that you want to copy, a few rulers, ones with curves are always useful. I have got also a normal tape measure too and a pen. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to lay our garment on the whatever you're using. I use obviously cardboard, a roll of cardboard. I will actually put in the link where I get my roll of cardboard from. It's 110 meters by, no it's not, it's 110 centimeters by 90 meters, so it was ridiculously heavy. So what you want to do with your thing is mark out the key points of your item. So as you can see, I'm folding it where the buttons are going to be attached, because obviously that's going to be one of my seams. You mark obviously your legs, your side. You want to try and get as close to it as possible. You have to like maneuver the fabric and shift it about. Obviously don't have to stick it to the thing, because you do have to pick it up to mark different points of it and move obviously the item around to get it properly. So as you can see, I'm placing it back in where I've already marked the crotch. I'm just going to trace up that side seam, little notches, and then you can go in with your ruler. So we literally just do a little dot to dot, trace it around. Mark off again, you know, where your join is, because when you're obviously folding it in half, you don't want to be doing it wrong by folding it in half and it not actually being half of the pattern. Like the front of the shorts are thinner than the back of the shorts, so you need to make sure you get in the seams in the right place. So again, keep checking it, keep picking it up, keep watching what you're doing. It can be quite, like, this is probably one of the hardest, not, well, I say hardest, it's probably one of the fiddliest things that I've copied, purely because of it. I think probably because of it being denim, to be fair. Like, I've copied quite a lot of dresses, and they're relatively easy because of the fabric that they're in. So just, like, if you wanted to have something easy to do, get, you know, a nice like skinny dress, they're always good to start with. So again, marking my points of where it is. Checking the waistband at the top, because there is a waistband in it. There's the front panels, there's the back panels, and you've got pocket pieces. You've also got a yoke on the back of the shorts. I think it's called the yoke anyway. So once you've got all your points, you can then start joining them together. So this is me checking what type of the curve my pocket is, because it's going to be hard to copy that onto it from the pattern. Like, just check, mark where the pocket starts at the side, we'll mark where the pocket finishes at the top, then you can check where you want it to go. The top is slightly curved, not a lot, but very slightly. So look to see which ruler you think is going to give you that the best fit of the curve, and join the dots up with that. It can be a very slow process. Like I'm not going to speed this up. I'm going to keep it how it is. So it's going to be a pretty long video because of it. But you're going to see, obviously, every piece that I do. Okay, so here we're going to draw in the crotch seam line, and as you can see, I'm having to move the ruler around to get the joins the dotted line that I've done, so it's all smooth. So we're going to also connect the sides now, from the top to the bottom at the sides. And then what I'm not going to do, sorry, I've just been eating a Bounty. I sat in the kitchen hiding from the kids while they watch some crap on telly. I need 5 minutes to yourself sometimes, don't you? So I've purposely not gone across the bottom of the shorts, because as you can see, the hem is rolled up. It's not like, it's literally just rolled up a few times. So what you need to do is measure. So measure how much has been rolled up. You need to add it to the bottom of your pattern. So I think it was like 6 centimetres. So add 6 centimetres to each side. So once you've added, obviously, what you need to, like depending on what you're making, this is like how you clone your clothes, is that you need to look at every nook and cranny in it. Because if you miss something, and then when it comes to sewing it together, you're like, shit, I missed this out. Shit, I didn't extend this. Like, you do need to really look at how it is put together and how it's made. So start with something really easy, like literally a t-shirt or a vest or something similar along those lines. And then when you get more confident, start with more complicated or harder things. So, and just connect the bottom. So once you get the piece that you're doing and you've managed to get a really decent shape for it, you're then going to add a seam allowance. Okay, so then we're going to add in the seam allowance. So with this particular pattern, I actually did 5/8 of a seam allowance, purely because I'm still going to sew it at my usual seam allowance of like the centimetre to the, just to the edge of the foot from where the needle is, purely because I have put on some weight, like a lot of people through lockdown. So I figured, room for a little bit of extra tummy. So that's what I've done. So just literally go around it all to add the seam allowance. And when you come to obviously the curves that you're doing, keep adjusting your ruler, moving it around. Make sure you're doing it from the same distance from your edge to where you want your seam allowance to be, and just keep adjusting it, moving it around. So I don't need a seam allowance on the bottom, because on the bottom they literally overlock it and then fold it over. So I am making a note on it to hem and fold. So I also want to just say thank you again for people that have subscribed, people that have commented and liked my videos. I do really appreciate it. It means a lot. It does help to keep me going. A lot of people will be in the same position. We're not allowed to work, so, you know. So when you are making your patterns as well, remember to label what the pattern pieces are. So obviously the front, the back, the waistband, the yoke at the back, your pockets. Just remember to mark them for what they are. I also number my pattern pieces. So this is the first pattern piece made. So you can see I've labelled it, marked it. And this is, so now we're going to obviously start on the back. So do front and the back. I do normally start with the biggest pieces first and then work my way through on what the smaller pieces are. So literally I put my ruler on top of it and just draw a line down or up. Because again, the front and the back pieces are different, like all trousers. They are different, obviously, for the shape of your leg, your bum. So you don't want to be cutting out like 2 fronts or 2 backs by accident. So you can see I've had to like stretch it out more, which then brings in the other side, but you need to obviously pull it and twist it to get it right, so you're getting the right shape, and then go back and check it so the back is bigger. So then again, getting the side that I've done, laying it down, making sure, trying to get it as flat as you can. So I decide to fold it under, because that's where the top of that pattern piece finishes. So I'm thinking, okay, I can get my markings on here. So I know obviously that's got a bit of a curve in it. So again, see what the curve is like with my ruler. See how accurate again I can get it, because the more accurate you can get it, the more likely it is gonna fit just as good as the piece that you bought. So again, like the whole process of this is making sure you get it as exact as you can. So manipulate the fabric, move it to where you need it, do it in all directions. You can see like obviously the crotch area is a pain in the bum because of how it's put together, and with it having a bigger back than what it does front. So what has everyone cloned already? If you've cloned your clothes already, what are you gonna clone for your first project? Let me know. Comment below what are you gonna attempt to make. Come back once you've done it. Let me know how easy it was. So the things that I didn't copy on this pattern were the back pockets. I wasn't bothered about the back pockets, and I didn't do the belt loops neither. So, but again, everything else It looks like I'm actually stretching the back, but I'm not. I'm stretching the front, so the back is the size it's meant to be. And again, you're going to use your ruler, attach the points, make it how you want it, match up to the best you can to the pattern or the item of clothing that you've got. Move your ruler around. If it doesn't fit, move your ruler. And again, like you did with the front piece, you need to do with the back piece. You need to extend that bottom bit because it was folded up. So here I measure the sides to see if the sides on both of the patterns are the same length. So I know obviously the side on the back is going to be a bit shorter to do the yoke. Obviously the crotch though, the seam in the crotch should be the same. So, and because I know that they were the same size, I knew I'd done it right. So bonus. And then it's just a case of, again, adding the seam allowance. Just don't ever forget to add the seam allowance. If you do forget, write it on your pattern card. Write on it, add seam allowance. When you cut it out, you know to cut a bit away from the pattern, which I have done before. I've been that excited. I'm like, yes, I've done it. Cut it out and gone, fuck. Not put pattern card, not put a seam allowance on. So I did actually start to say earlier that I label my patterns. I don't just obviously name the pieces, front, back, etc. I do label them. So for example, I make clothes for me, the 3 kids and my partner. So if I'm making a pattern for me, I start off with the letter L. If I make a pattern for my partner, I put a letter P because his name is Paul. Then for the kids, they get a C for Chloe, an SA for Sam, or a SH for Sheldon. And then I then put the first number, I then put a 1 if it's the first pattern I've made for them. If it's a second pattern, I make a 2. And then the next number, I'll put how many pieces are with that pattern. So if I grab a piece out and it says L 7, 8, I know it's L is mine. The 8, it's the 8th pattern I've made, and it has 7, so the 7th pattern I've made, and then 8 is how many other pieces I need for the pattern. So it's a very simple but very easy way of noting how you are keeping up to date with your patterns. So for the waistband, I think is what I'm doing this time is I have folded the jeans in half, because obviously the waistband, it goes the whole way around the jeans. So again, you're going to mark on the waistband that you're going to fold it. So I do put the little dash line down and dash across again, and then I also write on it fold on line, fold on seam, not fold on line. I think I'm cracking up talking to myself too much. I promise one day when I do a YouTube video, I will actually brush my hair. I think everyone that I've done, it's either slapped on top of my head or it's just not even been brushed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm totally like vibing this lockdown lifestyle of doing jack shit, apart from obviously homeschooling the kids, but still, like, self-care is like just gone out of the window. Okay, so now we're going to do the little yoke, what I keep calling or referring to as the yoke. Let me know in the comments if this is actually the yoke or if I am getting mixed up with something. I feel like it's probably not called that, but I don't even know what it is called. So let me know below. Is it a yoke? Is it something else? Okay, so then I actually had trouble with my camera. It actually kept cutting off because I had too much crap on my phone. So these are then the pieces that we have. This is the fly, and you do require 3 pieces of this piece. And then we have the pockets. So again, cut 4, the pocket, got a little dash line as well. We've got the waistband, again, name everything. The back, or the top of the back, the yoke. The front again, cut 2, hem and fold. The back again, cut. Obviously, once we have got all of our pieces, we are then going to cut them out. So I have actually sped this up. Not that it looks like it, because Jesus Christ, I am slow at cutting out. So it's one piece, 2 pieces. So I do actually need to check with my other pattern pieces to know what to label this. So it's going to be L, and then it's going to be, I think it's going to be 4, because what I'm doing is I'm like gone through some of the patterns, sorting them out. So as I'm using them again, I'm redoing them and making sure they're right and putting them upstairs and labelling them properly. Because at first I didn't really have a way of labelling. So I'm now going back through labelling things properly as I use them. So this is going to be L4, because I've already got 3 that I've already labelled. And then it's going to be 6, because it is 6 pattern pieces. So L for Laura, 4 because it's the 4th pattern piece, and 6 because there is 6 pieces in the pattern. So you will see actually after I cut this piece out, I then start to cut up the fucking, there, look, see, I am cutting up the bloody seam allowance off, and I'm like, shit. So I correct myself. I basically just leave it, I don't do anything with it. I could obviously sellotape it, I guess, if I wanted to, but yeah. So then just cut across the bottom, again make sure it actually fits, lines up and it, all that lot. And then I'm going to cut out the last 3 pieces, sorry. And I do, so the pieces that I'm cutting off, that I think, right, I can get a small pattern piece on this, then I will save it. All the scraggly bits tend to just go into the recycling bin. And while we're waiting for a bit more to be happening other than me cutting it out, again, feel free to like, subscribe and comment down below. It means a lot, and I like interacting with you all. So I do actually do a lot on the floor. My table always has my sewing machines on it. I don't really tend to move them, because I don't really have space anywhere for them. I could probably find somewhere, but it's like getting them in and out. I just can't be bothered. So I do a lot of my drawings on the floor, cutting out on the floor. I tend to cut my fabric out on the floor. I've done it for years, and I'm going to do it for, well, basically until my knees can't take it anymore. And if you don't like feet, I apologise. So this is what the pattern pieces look like laid on the fabric. It is like a, is it like a wool fabric? Don't think you can really make it. So obviously we're gonna cut it out. Now I never really think about the grain line. Like, this isn't stretchy, so I don't really feel like it would matter too much. But in general, I literally put it on, try and get the most out of my fabric, and I do use my feet as weights, yes. Like, who doesn't? If you're going to sit on the floor, you might as well use your body, right? Am I right? Yes. So again, getting the most out of your fabric, I have literally just lined up that inside seam leg with the inside seam leg from the other piece of fabric. So felt like I was cutting it backwards then, so obviously I shifted to make it more comfier. But these scissors are shocking. Like, they're really, really shit. They're really stiff. They're just awful. They're just not nice scissors. I don't really know why I'm using them, to be fair, because I couldn't find my other ones. That'll be why. Because it is a card and not a paper, it is actually easier to, as you're cutting around a curve, to pick the pattern up as you go, so it's not in the way of your scissors as you're trying to turn your scissor around the corner. So it kind of looks like I haven't cut it out right, but that is literally because the card is curling up. And again, I literally put it on top to just check that I haven't fucked it up. And as you can see, it's looking pretty damn perfect. I am as well looking to see if there's like any stretch. And there really isn't. So now we're going to do the waistband, and remember, you want to be cutting it on the fold. You also are going to want 2 of these, because you want one for the outer and you want to use one as a lining. So do remember to cut out 2 and put on how many you want on your pattern. So especially when it's to cut it on the fold, because then you only obviously get 1 piece. So if you need 2, then just remember you need 2. I also had to work out where what fabric I could use, because you can see there's a little bit of writing on it, and I haven't washed the fabric, so I don't know if it's going to come out. So instead of hoping it does, I'm just not using that area. So how many of you have made it to this section of the video so far and actually watched it all the way through? Oh god, this is going to be the longest video I have ever made. Will ever make, most more than likely. Can you like see how stiff them scissors are when I'm cutting? Like they literally hurt my thumb. So this is the fly. So again, I'm going to try and use up as much of my fabric as I can. Save as much of my fabric, should I say, not use up as much. And we do need 3 of these, so I'm cutting out 2 here. And I'll cut out another one. So I have now sped this up a tiny little bit. So I'm going to obviously go cut out the rest of it. So you know how I was saying that you need to cut obviously 2 of the waistband because one is being used as lining. Well, I actually forget, and then I remember when I like start cutting more of the other pieces. So with this fly piece you do need 3. So instead of cutting 4, I am literally just cutting 1 bit of the fabric, not cutting 2. I don't need 2 pieces, so I'm not going to cut it out. I just need the 1 piece to make the 3. So who is still with me? Who is still watching? Who hasn't got bored yet? So that's the yoke. Again, let me know if it's actually called the yoke. I just keep referring it to the yoke. Maybe I just like the word yoke. 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 Don't forget we need 4 pockets, so we're not just going to cut this out once and get 2 pockets. We are going to cut it out twice on the double layered fabric to get two bloody hell, to get 4. Maybe I shouldn't be teaching the kids maths or in general. So you can see how much fabric I actually got of this, because this is like literally the last pattern that I need to make, and you can see how much fabric I have left. So this leftover bit will literally go into my leftover bag, which is literally just a bag of cut-offs, random bits I can't get anything out of, but I can practice. So these are like the pattern pieces. We've got the short front, the yoke, back. Haven't got the waistband or the pockets in. So these are the patterns. And then what we have is the pockets. What we're going to do with the pockets, so I've attached actually the yoke to the bottom half of the shorts, and then we're going to add the pockets to the front of the shorts. So what we're going to do is we're going to get one of the sides of the pockets, which is going to be attached to the front of the shorts. We're going to lay the front of the shorts on, because then what you need to do is cut a line along here, because you don't need that piece, because this is going to be the outer piece of the pocket. So there you've cut it off, and then this is what it looks like with both things. So then what you're going to do then is you're going to sew. So you can see I've layered them on top of each other. So we've got the back of the pocket, the front of the pocket, and then you'll have the shorts. But you're going to basically sew where I've just pointed to, overlock and sew. So that's what we've done here. Then we're going to attach this seam to the front of the shorts, but you're going to attach it on so it's right. That side that you can see is going to face the right side of the shorts. So then you can then flip it over. So you can see how that's been done. You can then flip it over, and then you will top stitch that edge. So you can see how it's made a really neat, and you can press this if you want to and then top stitch it. I just went in and top stitched it because again, was a bit lazy, couldn't be bothered. So this is what it looks like.
So once you've done that, you will then have
to flatten it down.
Pocket.
And then you can see you've got a pocket
Big enough
to try to show you.
Put your hand in.
Literally, my hand can get fully in.
That's what it looks
So
like
that's
from
what it
the
looks
other
like from the
side.
other side. I'm not gonna lie, pretty impressed with myself.
Okay.
And what we're gonna go and do is sew the side seams. Don't forget to back stitch to keep it in place. Again, I'm not using pins, I'm going straight into it. So this is a seam where obviously the pockets are, and you can just sew straight up. I am also going to overlock the edge, because again, it's not that you need to, like you're not going to see it if you don't have one, can't afford one. It's not an issue. I just like how it finishes and how it makes it look a bit neater. It says the one that tries to skip steps because she's too lazy, likes overlocking when it's a step that's not particularly necessary. So you can see what that looks like then with the side, and then you can go ahead and sew up the center crotch seam. So not the leg bit, just the center seam that would curve under the bottom. And remember to backstitch. So this is me attempting to show you what then looks like through the middle. As you can see, I've not sewn up the leg area just yet. I've literally just done the seams. And then we're going to go straight into with the overlocker, and there we go. We are very nearly there. Just about 12 more minutes left, and you will have a pair of, well, I will have a pair of shorts. You'll have to let me know if you make a pair of shorts or a dress or a top or whatever it is you plan on making and what fabric you've got, what you're going to use. Okay, so now we're going to attach where the fly. Okay, so this part is part of the fly. We cut 3 pieces of this fabric, this particular piece. So this is 2 pieces together, and we've sewn down 2 sides here and here, and I've trimmed off the corner because we're going to turn it the right way round, and then after we've turned it the right way round we can press it, and then we're going to overlock this seam here. Okay, so this is what it looks like after you've top stitched this bit. Obviously turned it the right way around and then overlocked this side. Obviously I didn't press it because, well, I'm too lazy for that side kind of shit, but obviously if you wanted to, then go ahead, feel free. It's just a step I didn't feel necessary for myself. Okay, so I've also gone ahead and overlocked the front crotch seam. This is obviously what it looks like from the outside, inside, obviously not the outside, from the inside. So again, overlocked the inside crotch seam because that's where we're going to be attaching the fly to. So the fly onto, when it's facing you the wrong way, it's on the left side. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip it over to the right side, and you're going to flip your fabric over, your fly over, sorry, and you're literally going to place them 2 pieces on, and you're going to sew down to the bottom. So this is then what that looks like sewn on, and this is where you're going to put some buttonholes in. And now we're going to attach the fly on the other side. We need to prep the fly off for the other side, and we're going to overlock this seam and this seam. So this is what it looks like overlocked, and then we're going to attach it to obviously the front of the shorts. So on the right side of the shorts, so we're going to then sew it down this side, and we're going to obviously flip it over. So now we've sewn this, we're going to flip it over this side, and then we're going to, again if you want to, press it, and then we're going to stitch up, and we're also going to stitch it here as well onto the shorts. Okay, now we've attached both of the fly sections. Okay, we are now going to sew the front of the shorts together. So you're going to lay it down facing, so right sides facing together. You're going to line it up here and here, but you're not going to sew all the way up to the top. You're going to literally sew to the bottom of your buttonhole piece. Okay, so once you've sewn up that, you're going to be left with what looks like a skirt, because we haven't sewn the trousers crotch section together. But then you're going to have obviously your flap for your buttons. So we're going to go ahead and sew up with the right sides facing this and this. Okay, Okay, so we've sewn up the crotch leg holes. We're now going to overlock the leg holes, and then we're going to fold them up, because in my actual jeans they are literally just hemmed, overlocked, sorry, and then just rolled up and then stitched into place. Okay, so this is the legs finished. So you literally fold them up twice. I've sewn literally a stitch down here on each side, and also on this side and here. You are going to want to also press it. I've already done that, so iron it. Like, you can't be lazy in this bit, because obviously if I could get away with not doing it, I would. But there we go. So you're going to iron it. It is necessary to iron it. I was lazy enough to just get a towel and dump it on the floor, then actually get the ironing board out. So now we've done that, it's like basically a pair of shorts, high-waisted shorts. We are now going to attach the waistband. Now the waistband is actually in two parts. This is the waistband. We are literally going to put one piece on top of the other piece, and sew across the top only. Okay, so we've top stitched along the top, and when we folded it the right way round, I've also overlocked both of the pieces individually, and we're now going to attach it to the shorts. Okay, so this is what the waistband looks like attached from the back. I haven't done the inside yet, okay? And then this is what it's gonna look like from the front. So you do want to overhang it, because then you're gonna fold it over and hem that properly. So that's what I'm gonna go do now. So go ahead and attach your buttons. You can see I actually have a safety pin where the bottom button should be, because it just wasn't fucking happening in the machine. My normal machine isn't working, so I'm using like the spare machine, and then I couldn't figure out how to do a button all with the spare machine, so I had to then get my other spare machine out, and I could only just about manage 2 buttons with that. So I'm like literally like going, that's my ass, that's my ass. Yeah, prancing about. So that's the end of the video. I hope you liked it. I've not got nothing on under I'm naked. That's the end of the video. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. Tell me like what you didn't like. Are you gonna attempt to copy something yourself? Like to see what you make. So thank you. See you next time. Bye.